Hi, class. Um, Welcome to, well, I guess we're in the middle of week 4. And I hope you're settling in. I wanted to make another quick video. I like to, personalize the different assignments, especially when, some outside resources might help you with them. So I wanted to touch really quick on the wiki and then get into a little more detail on the lesson plan for the wiki activity. So pretty much what it is, you'll read the article, the picture book power, connecting children's literature and math. And what you'll do with this one is you're going to just create a wiki entry. And what you can do is you can first type it in Word. You're just first writing a very brief little paragraph about the meaning and process of measuring and strategies used for estimating measurement. And then you're going to develop a measurement activity. Now, this is not a full lesson plan, so I don't want you to stress about that. It's just a real simple activity. Use a book, pick out a book, and then, just write a couple things that you can incorporate with the book. You can read it and then do a simple activity. So you don't have to say any standards. You don't have to put in, what you're going to do before and after. It's just a simple activity that you can use with a book. So I would like you to include a grade level with that, because then the others, if they hopefully want to print those off, and they can use those in the future. So I just wanted to touch with you on that. The next one is the lesson plan. So with the lesson plan, we have there's a sample in the rubric, and I also provided it in the announcement, the beginning of the week announcement. And there is the format that you do have to follow. So the first one with this, now this you can use any concept within K-6, so that's up to you. So it's pretty much a free range. You can decide. You just have to incorporate some piece of literature with your lesson. So you get to choose the grade level. I would recommend, if you are teaching already in K-6, I would recommend, use the grade level that, you're teaching at, but it's up to you. If you're not, and you're not teaching or not teaching at that level in K-6, pick something maybe that you're going to probably use in the future. My hope is that you can use a lot of these activities and lessons that you're creating in this course, hopefully either now or in the future. So the first thing you have to do is your standard. So I would start there. It's up to you. Or concept, at least, there's so many concepts in math. So, decide your grade level and then pick on that, and then decide, which domain am I going in? So that would be my first suggestion for you. So once you have your standard down, then you can build your lesson from there. So that's the format. Yeah. Here's the quick sample. This is one that I had made up. I actually taught this lesson, and actually will tell you a secret. I did teach this lesson in 2 days. Some of the lessons, you'll make these lessons. I know this is the biggest thing I found when I taught. I would make these awesome lessons, and then I would go teach it. I'm like, oh, I don't have enough time. So I know I always had to break up my lessons usually into 2 days, but you don't have to put that in the lesson plan. So just sorry, I got a little sidetracked. So this is a sample. This one's on pizza fractions for 3rd grade, and I've actually taught this one for 2nd too, just at a little different level. So you can kind of read through that. That will help you. But here's the format that you have to follow. And I'm just going to quickly run through this. Before I run through this, don't want to forget, I shared this site in the beginning of the week announcement, and I told you that I was going to go in a little bit more detail. When I taught, we used everyday mathematics in my last, 4 years that I taught there. And I really actually do like this program. There's, of course, pros and cons to everything, but the resources they have are amazing. And this is one resource that will benefit you for this lesson. The awesome thing is, if you see on this side, they list all the grade levels from kindergarten to 6th grade, which is perfect, because that's the grade level that you need to choose. So under kindergarten, when you click on, if you go to literature list, look at this. This is so cool. It lists all these different books, the author, and it does the unit or lesson that links to that everyday math, but you don't need to that. And then it has the topic here. This is so helpful if you're just like, oh, I don't even know what, book to use. So I would first start with your standard. And then when you know what your topic is, I really recommend coming here to this site. Same thing, go to first grade. And then what you have to do is you got to click on literature list under first grade. There we go. And voila. So here is under grade 1, you have all these books and then the topics. So I wanted to share that with you. This can be super helpful to get you kind of going. Because once you have your standard in your book, then you are good to go. So coming back to here, so you got your title and your lesson introduction, Common Core standard, learner outcome. It has to be student will be able to. I know many of you that are in your last course here, you probably can rate learning outcomes in your sleep. But if you haven't written any lesson plans yet, you always have to do the student will be able to, and then continue. Your 2 essential questions, what is important? What do you want the students to know during this? So, and think of those higher order thinking questions for Bloom's, and I will provide that link as well in this announcement. Your anticipatory set. This is, I love this section. It's your hook, how are you going to really engage those and think about it? You can read a book, which could be one, but before reading a book, how are you going to get them really engaged? I always like to use props, or I loved once a week when I taught, I love dressing up. I know it's kind of crazy, but the kids just ate that stuff up. So how are you going to get the kids excited about the lesson? So before you read or before, you get into the topic, what is that? Next up, procedures. Be detailed in these. Step by step, what are the steps? This is where, I know for me, I really had to think it out. Okay, what would I do? And I might even put my steps down and then go over it again. Okay, did I miss a step? So really be detailed in your procedures. What are you going to do and to meet those objectives in the order of the lesson? Differentiation, which we talked about in week 3 last week. How are you going to differentiate for all the learners? What are you going to have centers at different levels? What are the certain things that you're going to do? And then here's your closure, your wrap up. How are you going to kind of close that lesson? You just don't want to end with, the students, finishing up that activity. You want them to come back and kind of maybe you're going to have a discussion about it. Maybe you might have something, a cool prop to end it with and kind of close it up or talk about what you're going to do in the next lesson the next day. And then here's your assessments. Formative, summative, you probably won't have a summative, but what, if you do, you can put that, but mostly it'll be formative. Are there, you're just observing, are the students actually doing something that you're going to look at to see how they're doing? And then any modifications. Now, you're not teaching this lesson, so you kind of think about, you're going to have to think about if you have any ELLs, if you have any students, more than likely you'll have students on IEPs. So just think about ways you would address those students. And then reflective practice, how does this lesson meet the Common Core? How does this assessment address the objectives? So how, just kind of reflect about that. And then, of course, your materials, so you can kind of list those. So have fun with this too, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.